Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is a late Sunday live. We're still in Dijon at the film festival here with the screening of the GGR 2018 documentary, which went up yesterday and brought the house down. Quite literally, it was really amazing. We'll talk about it later. But 900 people in three interlinked theatres just went nuts at the end of the screening. It was a standing ovation. Applause went for a couple of minutes. It was very emotional for Jean-Luc and I out the front, so that was good news. It was the first public screening. The screening we did in Les Sables d'Olonne back on the 1st of September was pretty much a hand-picked invited audience only, but this was 900 general public, and they loved it. So well done to Jesse, and yeah, more about that later. Anyway, so back for now. A couple of things happening here. Boats are passing now Trinidad Island, and I just wanted to point out that the from now on, in the next few days, a week or so, the leaderboard is going to be completely inaccurate because the positions are based on heading direct from Trinidad straight across to Cape Town, and that's not going to happen. The boats are going to be heading south to get around the South Atlantic High. So if you look here, you can see Tapio. For some reason, he's actually stopped, doing 1 knot going past Trinidad. That was at 1200 UTC today. But Abelish is obviously further in front of him. But if you look at the distance to Cape Town, Tapio's closer to Cape Town than Abelish. So on the leaderboard here, it's showing Simon's in the lead because he's just fractionally closer than Tapio. Tapio's right above him over there, but still quite a distance behind. And in fact, if we just go just a quick grab on the distance, Tapio's 180 miles behind Simon, but it's showing him as being just fractionally behind Simon because it's measuring to Cape Town. And Abelish, who's actually further south than Tapio, is showing as being fourth, with Pat Lawless closer, when in actual fact Pat's way behind him because they're all going to have to come down here. So that'll hold true for the rest of the week while the entrants select what they want to do and where they're going to go here. And it gets interesting because if Simon was down south now, he'll actually hook around, or he could go on the other tack because they're on the leading edge, and so it's not an easterly, it's a south-southeasterly in parts of this. So all those things we spoke about before, the tactical decisions to make going forward are going to become very real now, and you're going to see some funny things going on. We can actually talk about the weather before we go into, because weather, it's all about weather now, and how the entrants interact with that. And it's quite interesting because we made a prediction on what the 20th would look like, and I'll kind of cut straight through here 4 days down the track to the 20th. You'll see in our latest press release, we took the forecast for the 20th. It suggested there would be a big high pressure system here, the South Atlantic High, and it would be down in this position. So it's still, the forecast is still holding true, even though a couple of days have gone by. And here's the 40th parallel down here, the roaring 40s, and that's generally the tactic, and that's what you'd have to do now, is get past this high, going down and get on the other side of it. So this is 4 days in advance, and if we carry it through 1 day at a time, you can see roughly where it's going to go. Very traditional weather now. South Atlantic High heading out to the east and plodding across. Another day ahead. It's still there, hasn't moved much, and you've got the first of the Southern Ocean storms starting to appear. Low pressure system there. It's going to disappear straight away, but cause some confusion. The high is still sitting there, so first boats down into this right here, they're going to get quite a run, and this is absolutely typical South Atlantic conditions. And the boats coming down, get down into the 40s areas, ride the westerlies across here, and then actually come back up to Cape Town. So that's going to be a bit of fun to watch. Anyway, we'll come right back here to today's weather, build it up a bit, and we'll see what we got here. So Simon, and you can see already the weather's patchy. The trades don't exist in these latitudes now. It's all into typical weather systems. The entrants themselves, once they get below 20, they start to monitor their barometers a lot more than they do in the trades, because nothing really changes in the trades. The pressure systems are pretty consistent. The isobars are way apart, but now not anymore. You're going to be working these isobars all the time and trying to work out from your isobars, working out where the centers are and so on, and the wind direction, you can calculate where the center of the high is. And then if you're heading into the middle of it or on the edge of it, you can actually work out where you are as long as you understand the principles. And that's what they'll have to do. And those entrants that understand it and comprehend what's going on better than another, they've got a huge advantage. Anyway, Simon's got good breeze there at the moment. He's making 5.7 knots, so that's okay. Looks like, even before I check it out, that Abelish is in a bit of a hole. So let's see what we got here. Not much green around him. He's still doing 6.1 knots, so that's okay. As I say, it's hard to predict all these little bits, but there's certainly instability there. Kirsten, 5.4 knots. Pat is doing 3.2. And Tapio, this is strange, 1 knot. Now, I can't work this out. There's a distinct light blue here, so maybe it's just running out of wind, but that means his average for 4 hours is only 1 knot, so he's only done 4 miles in 4 hours, and he looks like he's right on top of. In fact, let's just zoom right in here and see what's happening there in relation to Trinidadi. He's quite away from it, but I think he's just dropped in a hole. There's Trinidadi there. It's quite a way off, so he's not in a wind shadow from the island, but he's only doing 1 knot, so that's sad for him, because Pat's doing 3.2. Yeah, so it's very, very much a soft wind area here, by the look of it. Anyway, the good news for the tail enders here, Damien's, not tail enders, but mid-fleet. Damien's 6.4 knots. He's happy with that. Captain Goog, 5.9, and last 24 hours he's done 117 miles, so he'd be happy. What's Damien done? A bit more here. Damien, 145. He still keeps consistent highs. He's working hard. It's pretty obvious for everyone to see. Urton, plodding along, 4.2. He'd be comfortable, enjoying the ride, maybe getting a bit bored, but that's life. And Jeremy's hard on the nose here, 4.8. You can just see from the wind direction over in this area, that's a very much a southeasterly. He's been pushed out to the west a bit more, so he won't be complaining, but he'd much prefer to slack off a bit. Guy Waits, 6.1. He's happy with that, and I'm just we're up a bit close to see where the relative positions are. And then Elliot, he's got some breeze. That's the good news. So 5.8 knots, nothing wrong with that. That's very respectable. I think he's pulled away a little bit from the tail enders. It's Ian and Arnaud down the back here. Arnaud's saying he's heard another boat close by. Can't work out who it is. It's obviously Ian. And at least Ian's on track. When he rang us a couple of days ago, he was very down, completely down. And I suggested, no worry, it's all going to change. And it has, and he's now sort of holding the track. But these two guys, they're all going to get pushed out over to the west here, and then they've got to harden up again and come around on this trade wind. So let's see what's going to happen to the forecast up the top here as the days go by. Give an indication of how cruel it's going to be for them or how good. So that's a day ahead. Okay, it's getting a bit more east in it. That's encouraging, so that'll make it easy to miss the corner here. That's getting towards an east-southeasterly. We'll go forward another day. Here we go. No, still holding the same, east-southeasterly. We'll go forward another day. Oops, gone back to southeast. They're not going to like that. So they still all got a bit of work to do. They're going to be either real close reaching or bordering on going to windward. So it'll be wet, it'll be bits and pieces. The sea state's still pretty normal, couple of meters. Let's have a look at the waves. Yeah, a couple of meters there. This is interesting. That's in days ahead. Yeah, the seas, they'll start getting used to bigger seas now. So this is today's weather, today's sea state, still 2 meters, but you can see, welcome to their new world. Lots of higher winds in the Southern Ocean. Anyway, I think that's pretty much covered it all. We'll be back on track. We're on the train very shortly and get back to Les Sables d'Olonne 11:30 tonight. And we'll be in the office, so we'll see you at 9.